Spider-Man Noir. Finally, I'm one of the last people to review this show, which I wasn't sure if I was going to let my voice be heard on the show because you know how the internet is and you know how people are. But I wanted to review it anyway. So, what's going on, guys? This is Joshua Drake, aka Epictastic Joshua, and Spider-Man Noir is a neo-noir superhero show created by Orion Uzel, based on the comic book character of the same name from Marvel, co-produced by the creators of Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, and is set in an alternate universe with Sony's Spider-Man universe. This has Nicolas Cage, Lamorne Morris, Lee Jung Lee, and Brendan Gleeson. Ben Reilly is an aging, down on his luck private investigator in 1930s New York who is forced to confront his past as the Spider. This blends gritty detective fiction with superhero action as Ben deals with personal tragedy and a new case involving mobsters and a femme fatale. So, I'm not going to go into spoilers on this. Let's go into it because I don't want to give any spoilers away because you need to watch this show. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to tell you guys why. Now, as far as my history with Spider-Man Noir, I have not read any of the comics that he's in, but I think Spider-Noir is a very good character. He's an awesome character. He's definitely one of the more interesting people in the Spider-Verse. Not to say that the world of the Spider-Verse doesn't have interesting spider characters, but he really stood out to me, and I was genuinely shocked Into the Spider-Verse at how much I didn't hate his character and how interesting he was as a character. And Nicolas Cage played him very well. He had a small role in the second movie, Across the Spider-Verse, but he is fully coming back in the sequel, Beyond the Spider-Verse, next summer. So I'm very curious to see how that goes and how that plays. So when it comes to him getting his own show, I was actually pretty curious about it. I said this has some potential. And you had Nicolas Cage coming back. You had the people involved with Spider-Verse coming to help out. And we had some casting here. Then I was seeing some behind-the-scenes photos from 2024 to 2025, and it got me even more interested. What concerned me here was a few things. One of them was the fact that when I saw these trailers, I was still excited, but I was also a little confused on why are we doing this in black and white and not just in color. But luckily, the TV show, they gave you an option to watch in black and white and color. The second biggest concern was this is from Sony. Now, I don't hate Sony as much as everyone else. They have their good days, they have their bad days, they have their in-between days, like every other studio. And I've grown up with a lot of Columbia TriStar movies, and even Screen Gems, and a few Sony Picture Classics. But as we all know, when it comes to the world of Marvel Spider-Man characters, these guys have a very, very hit and miss track record. They do well with other things when they want to, like live action movies and such, or Jumanji and such, but sometimes it's not all great for those either. But I am a big fan of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. I've only reviewed them. I've only done live audio commentaries on the first movie. I don't have the other two physically. I still need to do those. In spite of what some people want to say, I am a fan of the MCU Tom Holland era. I really enjoy his trilogy. I've done reviews for each of these as well, and I did a live watch for Far From Home. Need to do the others. I am very excited for Brand New Day. Still have some concerns in the case of Sadie Sink. Are you going to shoehorn a certain Black Spider-Man into this? But I'm still excited for the movie nevertheless. And when it comes to the Amazing Spider-Man movies, I want to like these movies as much, and I will probably do commentaries, watch-alongs for these as well. But These movies are just frustrating. I do like the second one, but you can tell where the interference starts to go full force in these. You know my thoughts on the Spider-Verse movies. Into the Spider-Verse is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's my favorite Spider-Man film of all time. And Across was just as great, if not better. I think some people who think Across is not the best, I think give it until Beyond the Spider-Verse. Maybe they'll change their minds. But I really enjoyed these first two movies. And I'm excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse next summer. And I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with Miles after Beyond, because it's gonna potentially be the very last time we ever see him. So it depends on if he has a future in live action, which I hope so. And when it comes to these villain movies, I just want to get this out of the way. The Venom movies, they're guilty pleasures, but they're disappointing, especially with the anti-hero aspect, which is an interesting idea, but they feel R-rated. And I don't want to talk about Kraven the Hunter, Madam Web, or Morbius any more than I already do. And I never saw Kraven the Hunter. So that also had me concerned as well. The black and whites and Sony's involvements. But so I went into this. I didn't watch this right away because I did get threw off by some people saying they didn't like it. But there was a lot of people who were loving this, and I was concerned that I was gonna find this shit boring. But having watched all the episodes and having the proper time to watch for myself and not let anyone else's voices be dictated, I can confidently say I love this show. I really enjoy Spider-Noir. I have a few issues, but I really do enjoy this. Now, am I going to say this is better than WandaVision? No, I still think that's my favorite Marvel show of this decade so far. It's certainly not better than X-Men 97 or Invincible, which I still need to review season 4, obviously. But I can confidently say, despite all of my concerns with this, I was genuinely surprised at how much this ended up working for me. And people's gonna say, oh, he likes a Sony Marvel project that's not in the MCU or that's not Miles Morales. This isn't the first time where I like something from them. The thing that makes this as great as it is Nicolas Cage's Ben Riley. He's been playing this character since 2018, so it was definitely fun to see him in a live action take on the role, and he's great. I know Nicolas Cage has his ups and downs in his film career, but when he hits, and this is one of the times where I felt like he hits. He really does a good job in this. He's older, he's grizzled, he's down on his luck. He got his powers during the war, and I like a lot of this of what they're doing with him. You can tell that he has a little bit of Humphrey Bogart and a bit of Bugs Bunny and a bit of James Cagney and Edward G. Robinson here. But I feel like Nicolas Cage, he served his performance well. I thought he was really good in this. And like I said, I'm very excited to see where they're going to take him in season 2, because this is going to be season 2. And I'm excited to see what he does in Beyond the Spider-Verse. Lamorne Morris as Robbie or Joe. I was a little concerned about this character because you know the time period, you don't see a lot of black characters like this, and I've been very vocal about how I'm kind of exhausted with seeing the same damn thing with black characters in black movies, where it's the slavery, the struggle, and such, that I've just been exhausted with it. But Joe wasn't that. He was a friend. He's a hardworking freelance journalist, and he's very optimistic. And they balance each other out. Where Ben is the cynic, he's the more open-minded one of the group. So I do like that dynamic. It does work in his favor, and I thought he did a pretty good job here. I want to see where he goes. Brendan Gleeson as Silverman. I will say this, he is a philosopher who is equally dangerous, but His accent is very thick because he is from Ireland, but it took a while, but once I started listening to what he's saying, I'm like, okay, I know what he's saying. And the guy is a good actor. He's been a good actor since Braveheart and Harry Potter and Troy and so many other movies. That he's a good actor. I like Brendan Gleeson. His son is actually not too bad of an actor himself. It's just too bad in the Star Wars sequel trilogy they didn't give Domhnall Gleeson enough to work with. But Brendan, he was good here. Jack Houston as Flint Marco, Sandman. This is a different version of Sandman that we're accustomed to, as he's more of the bodyguard and the lover to a certain character, which we're going to get to. So I'm very excited to see where that goes. You have Whitney Rice as Vera Addison, who is the widow of a character named Jimmy, played by Jack McCassell. A lot of supporting actors, supporting characters here, but I thought she was great, and she surprised the hell out of me. I wasn't expecting a lot out of her. She kind of reminds me a lot of Rebecca Ferguson in the case of the way she looks and the way she carries herself in performance wise. This isn't the first time I've said someone reminds me of Rebecca Ferguson, because there's someone else in the Marvel world that does remind me of Rebecca Ferguson, but I thought she was great. She really did a good job here. Like I said, she and Carrie Condon are two other actresses who reminds me of Rebecca Ferguson heavily. So that was actually pretty interesting to see. I thought her character was pretty cool. I do hope we probably get more, but knowing this season and what happens, won't say what happens, probably might be it. But if not, I want to see more of Whitney Rice going forward. Now I could talk about an actual surprisingly fun character in the case of Lee Jun Lee as Cat Hardy, which this is a nice reference to the character of Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat, since we have not seen her in live action yet, which I'm not opposed to seeing her in live action, but I want to go back to Cat Hardy because Lee Jung Lee, I like as an actress. I liked her in Sinners last year. She was great in that. I haven't seen everything she's done, but this is an actress I definitely want to see more of. I've really been liking Lee Jung Lee. She's beautiful, she's a good actress, and she's capable. And for the part of Cat Hardy, she is a femme fatale and a love interest to Ben and Flint, and also a nightclub singer. But I really enjoyed her character. She's inspired by Anna Mae Wong, Rita Hayworth, which is a good plus, Lauren Bacall, and Kim Basinger. And I thought her performance was great. It's a different take on the Black Cat, but you know what? I actually really like the fact they chose to go into a different take. Considering the fact that we have not had a Black Cat in live action just yet. We've had Felicia Hardy, who could have been Black Cat in the Amazing Spider-Man series, but that didn't go too well. But I will say here, if they want to do a Black Cat in the MCU, and like I said, there are a few things that concerns me about how audiences are going to respond, how most men are going to respond, especially most guys who are just going to be ogling the screen. I'd be fine with it. Just make the actress who plays Felicia Hardy feel comfortable and make her feel safe. And give her something to work with. Don't make her just here to be a sex object. The rest of the supporting cast, like Amanda Shaw and Karen Rodriguez as Janet, Lucas Haas, Kerry Christopher, Cameron Britton, Scott MacArthur, and Michael Kossoff, all of them does a very strong job. There's a lot of supporting actors here, but I think overall they each do a very strong job with what they have to work with. And I very much really enjoyed the supporting cast. The way the visual spectacle looks, This is recapturing the time period of the 30s of that era. So if you're someone who's very sensitive about the era that this takes place in, you're not really going to like the show that much. And visually, I think this is a very well visualized show. You can see what's going on. Is Everything is visually colorful, is visually bright, even for something black and white or in the color. Great from a visual perspective. And so that I think is what really sells it. Not a lot of action in the show, but when you do get the action, you do get your action here, and the action is good. It's in camera, it's practical, and it is focused. So you're definitely getting that side of things. Cinematography wise, it looks great. I like the way this is written for the most part. There's a few lines of dialogue that are just like, but it's a well written series for a first season. The technical aspects as far as editing and music wise is great as well. And I like the noir feel that this fully gives off. It puts you in that feel to where you're not so confused. And that was why I thought the show really does sell out. I also do like the fact that this is in an alternate universe from the other Spider-Man, because it allows it to stand on its own, much like the Supergirl movie will stand on its own, despite people trying to bring it down, but it doesn't matter. But I do like overall a lot about the show. There's a lot in the show I really do like. And the social commentary, I was a little concerned about that because this is the 30s time periods. So that was a concern, but it didn't bother me as much. And by the time it was over, despite taking a while to get into this show, I was fully immersed by the end of this. So in this, there's a lot I really like, from the performances to the direction to the writing and to the fact that this is not studio mandated. This is 100% a show that is worth it. So I definitely really enjoyed that part of it. And like I said, after it was over, I said to myself, we need a live action Miles Morales somehow after this. It's not too much for me to complain about in terms of my negatives. I will say there are a few characters that gets a little bit underutilized. So that's something I do think is a small issue when it comes to it. As I mentioned when I'll talk about the positives, it did take me a while to get into this because the first 2 to 3 episodes, I was just kind of sitting here a little bored, and I was definitely questioning what everybody else was seeing in the show because I thought everybody was just overhyping this up. I said, this is going to be one of the most boring things I've seen. I'm not going to enjoy it, and it's just going to put me to sleep. But I held out. I stuck it out, and then as the show went along, it got better, much like Wonder Man. And the last thing I'll say is that this show is not going to be for everyone. If you are someone who's not into the film noir, detective style, Sin City, Blade Runner-ish type feel of a comic book movie or show like this, isn't going to be your thing. And the last issue I'll just bring up here is that the fact that I knew, considering the time period, what this was going to be, but there are certain racial slurs in this, or racial logos that I shall not speak of, that just easily bugged me. Granted, there's no usage of the N-word, and I'm not someone who is going to complain about this. I'm not even someone who's going to go on Twitter and be the overly cancel culture, cancel everything train, but those racial symbols and racial words did kind of bother me just a little bit. Just a little bit. But overall, Spider-Man Noir, really good show. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This did not have a right to be as great as it was, but I'm actually glad this is good. And considering that this is from the creators of Spider-Verse and Project Hail Mary, I did like what this was going for. I really enjoyed what this season is going for and what the show went with. I love the performances. I like Nicolas Cage. I like the idea. It committed to the plate and it had all of its intentions in the right place. So if you have Prime Video or MGM Plus, definitely give this a watch. I strongly recommend this. And I hope this gets a physical media release so people can watch it at home on physical media. I'm going to give it a better than Vampire Academy. So that was my review of Spider-Man Noir. What did you guys think of this in the comment section down below? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere right in the middle? All my social media links to Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok, Twitch. All of that is in the description box down below. If you'd like to send me any money to my Cash App or Chime to help financially support the channel, you can do that as well as be a part of the membership. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified when more videos or streams or community posts are up. Otherwise, you won't be notified for more. We are on the verge of 5K subscribers as of now. So we hit that milestone. Also, if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, you can share and give it a 5-star grade and share it with your friends along with the channel. And my Amazon wish list is in the description box down below, as I'm about to get ready to promote that for my birthday if you like to send me anything there. I'll see you guys next time.